The 125cc AMA National Series has seen some fantastic finishes the last 2 years. In 2000, Travis Preston overcame a 41-point deficit to win the title from Stefan Rincada in the final moto. Last year, the drama unfolded when Grant Langston's rear wheel fell apart, handing the title to Mike Brown at the last possible moment. At the same time, Ricky Carmichael made history with his 26th 125 national win. This time, there will be no championship drama. Rookie James Bubba Stewart has already wrapped up the title, having done so last weekend at Broome Tioga. However, that doesn't mean that there won't be some very exciting racing. Stewart will be going for a record 10 wins in one season, and Chad Reed comes in the series finale just 4 points ahead of Branden Jesseman in their battle for the runner-up finish in the U.S. Motocross Championships. The gate drops next on ESPN2. We are high above Steel City Raceway in Delmont, Pennsylvania for the final round of the 2002 AMA Chevy Trucks U.S. Motocross Championships. It is a perfect afternoon here for 125cc outdoor motocross. The weatherman said it was going to rain, but it has not. It is shaping up as a perfect day for 125 motocross. I'm your host, A.V. Coombs, and when this season started, a lot of people thought there were maybe 4 or 5 riders that could win this 125 championship. But in the end, one man emerged out of all the rest. Actually, one young man. 16-year-old James Stewart put together the most impressive rookie season of all time. And earlier, we caught up with James to get his thoughts on his first championship.
It means a lot. I still don't, I don't feel any different except signing #1 every once in a while. But, you know, it's special because, you know, I lost the Supercross championship and, you know, regrouping myself and getting a big old points lead and winning a race early was special to me. Now, you know, I can't wait the next year and, you know, try to win the Supercross and outdoor at the same year.
Well, we know that James Stewart has the championship wrapped up, but what's going on here at Steel City is a battle for second place for the points. I'm here with Branden Jesseman and Chad Reed. Chad currently leading the points by 4 points. Branden, you have been second place more times than anybody this year, 7 seconds if I'm not mistaken. What would it mean to you to get that win today, and more importantly, those points for second place?
Well, that's my goal today, you know, to get second in points, but I always want to go out and win, even though it hasn't happened this year with James out there. But just go out there, get a good start, ride my best, and hopefully things will, you know, turn out the way I want.
Well, everybody hopes for the best. Chad Reed, this is your last ride in the small class next year on the 250 bike. You've got to want that second place of the points. Right now, a little bit of a lead over Branden Jesseman. What does it take today? What do? You go for the points? You go for the win? How do you go out?
No, I'm going for the win. You know, it's my last race on 125, and you know, to me, second or third is no different. It's you know, it's definitely not what I planned on getting anyway. So, you know, I'm sure second's better than third, but I'm just going to go out there and get a good start and just hopefully finish the season off with a win and just, yeah, look at Bubba and just go out and try and beat him.
Two guys that can truly be champions. They're both fighting for second place today. Should be an interesting race.
Now with our Suzuki Fast Lap, here's the third member of our team, David Bailey.
Well, looking at those riders that we talked to, James and Chad and Jesseman has an advantage there looking at this track the most. I never raced here, but I love the way the start goes uphill, a safe first corner. And the layout without the trees in this valley is perfect for spectators, and they're going to get a good one today.
Speaking of spectating, there is the Sorby man coming in. He can see everything. And what he sees is James Stewart with an unbeatable total, 110 points clear of second place. But he's trying to make Ricky Carmichael and Steve Lampson's record for 9 wins overall in a season. And there you see the Moto tally, 15, almost 4 times as much as everyone else. Also, those 9 wins, only Chad Reed and Suzuki's Danny Smith have been able to keep James Stewart out of the winner's circle. See some of the fans gathered around Stewart. Very impressive in his first year. As we take a look at the Suzuki starting lineup, keep an eye on Ernesto Fonseca on the Honda. Billy Laninovich, the rookie, making a nice charge here at the end of the season. Also, Roderick Thane back on the Yamaha Troy bike. He has been having some trouble with some crashes and some injuries. Also keep an eye out for number 967, Ryan Mills, who just came off the Loretta Lynch Championship. Now they're getting ready to start. As David mentioned, it's an uphill start into a sweeping left-hander. Gives you a chance to keep your foot on the brake. Not a lot of pile-ups, and usually the whole shots come from the inside, and here they come, and it looks like it's going to be right up the middle, and that is probably going to be Brock Sellards on the Red Bull KTM, and his teammate Steve Boniface right next to him. Very good starts for the two Austrian motorcycles.
All right, so these KTMs are fast. I think we can see that. John Dowd getting great starts on that big 520. Sellards getting a whole shot here with his teammate Boniface right there with him, but Matt Walker gets a great rhythm to that whoop section, and this is what he's been lacking so far in the series. Good starts. Now, if he can keep his cool and not throw it away here in the early laps, well, he's got Stewart behind him. He may have a chance to race for the lead.
So it's Sellards, Walker, Boniface, Stewart, and Ernesto Fonseca in the top 5, and it looks like Chad Reed went down on the start in the second corner. Reed already starting in a hole. Not a good day. He's going to have to get up there and get with Branden Jesseman, who for his own point started about 10th, but Jesseman wrecked yesterday in practice, has an injured knee. He did mention it, but the word in the pits is that he's got a serious knee injury. It's his left knee, David.
That's too bad, and you know, it reflects a little bit in the way that he's been riding. It seems like he would come into this track, a track he knows very well, with some momentum going. I got one more chance to win a race. I thought he had Washougal in the bag until Stewart just seemed to snatch that away from him, but here on a track where he has a great chance to win, that knee's going to make it tougher on him, and Sellards isn't operating on all cylinders either. He's got food poisoning, and it's just been one thing after another for him this season.
We come down the bottom of the track. Sellards the leader. Walker putting on the pressure. Stewart up to third. Then it's Boniface in Fonseca. A little further back, Grant Langston back in action after missing last week with that recurring knee injury. Now they come along the tight part. Oh, and Sellards goes for the big gap. Sellards making the jump. Mostly, a lot of the guys can do it, but you can see the track's kind of slick. Hard to get traction out there on a 125.
Well, Sellards does a good job out front. You can see Walker is trying everything to get around him, and he's got to be careful right now that he doesn't leave the door open with Stewart back there.
Coming down the tabletop row, they do the Arenacross double, another double. See him skate to the outside on that slick track. Sellards coming around to complete the first lap out front. Like Jesseman, he's had some time on this track too. Growing up in New Philadelphia, Ohio, he used to sneak across the border from District 11 with his brother Marcus. He's got a lot of time on this track. Stewart only been here as an amateur.
He looks pretty good so far, but he doesn't, if you watch him, he doesn't have that super aggressive, I got to be in the lead right now look. Now that looks pretty fast right there, but I think with the title already wrapped up and Reed nowhere in sight, Jesseman nowhere in sight, he's going, I got these guys. So he might be taking his time a little bit. That might be a problem.
Also, guys like Sellards and Walker don't have a Moto win this year. This is their last chance. So Stewart basically with a big target right wrapped around that number 259. He tries a low line in the whoops. It comes along the inside and makes the pass on Walker. So Stewart using a little bit of Supercross through there. A lot of guys jumped through there. At that time, it looked like Stewart was able to pound through.
Doubles out of that corner into the next, right up onto the back tire of Sellards. Most riders would lay off of that. Here's the look at the pass. He'll do the wheel tap, lets his rear wheel hit that one, jumps him up to 3, and it changes his timing, so he gets his wheel to the ground, plows into that last one with a little bit more speed than Walker, and that's an easy pass. You can see that when he went into the corner before, he set himself up for that opportunity by going wide.
Now they come back around. Sellards, then Stewart, then another Kawasaki and Walker, and then a little ways back is the KTM of Boniface. You see Walker, or rather Sellards holding the inside line there. He does that triple this time. And Stewart unable to make the pass stick. And actually Fonseca has now moved into third.
Yeah, Sellards jumping over that double that time, and Walker. Stewart wasn't doing it, so that's a technical, tricky little section right there that these guys are having to double out of a corner right into another one. And, you know, I'm not seeing like incredible pressure all over Sellards.
Oh, and I think we just lost Sellards behind the banner. Brock Sellards just dropped the Red Bull KTM in that corner, and just like that, James Stewart has moved into the lead. Walker is second, and Fonseca is third. An unforced error for Brock Sellards, and just like that, he's out of the lead.
Well, that might have been forced just a little bit. Sellards getting in there hot. He already looks back. He knows how close those guys were. And Stewart got a little crooked in his berm as well. Look back. I don't know if he's looking back like an in-your-face move as much as he was like, hey, did he hold up Fonseca and Walker, and who in fact takes over second now that I'm in the lead? It's important to know that.
And maybe I don't want to hit what he just hit next time around. So now Stewart is your leader. You see the Yamaha Troy people out there waving on Matt Walker. They want someone to beat James Stewart, and it doesn't look like it's going to be Chad Reed in this moto at Steel City. ESPN's presentation of AMA Motocross is brought to you by Honda, performance leader in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Honda, performance first. And by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. Well, there you caught a glimpse of Ricky Carmichael getting ready for his date with Destiny in the 250 class. But right now, it's the 125 action from the Sorby Nationals at Steel City, and James Stewart is out in front. Right there, Stewart almost crashed in the same whoops where he was able to make a pass earlier. That time, it looks like he got just a little out of control, and just like that, Matt Walker inherits the lead, and Walker now has Stewart, and Ernesto Fonseca has joined the battle in third. Sellards, our early leader, is back up to fourth.
Look at the way all those guys lay it over and scrub off over that jump. 1, 2, 3. He's trying to do this wheel tap again, but what makes it so hard is it's really off camber right there. He's leaning in, he catches the frame on it a little bit, throws him off balance. Does a good job to recover, doesn't worry about it too much. Walker gets back into the lead. James looks over his shoulder to see, okay, what do I got going on behind me, so I know how I can attack Walker with my lines, and I shouldn't have any problem right there. How exciting is it for Walker and Fonseca now to be right there with James? No one's been able to do that for very long.
Well, this is one of the guys that everyone expected to be up there. Chad Reed, as we said, he fell earlier, and now he's all the way at the back of the pack. Yamaha Troy rider not having a very good afternoon. He is back in 39th place. And now you take a look at Eric Sorby. You see one of the Yamaha Troy mechanics, that's actually Craig Dack, helping to get the bike off, and Sorby getting some assistance from some of the flagmen here at Steel City. He has crashed in the off-camber right before the finish line. There you see Dr. Steve Augustine of Road Recovery and Asterisk coming by to help out. Here's what happened to Sorby.
Got into that berm a little too quick, got pitched back out. So it's kind of like what happened to Matt Walker back at Troy. He just got into a berm and he wasn't really laid in there with the right balance, and it just cost him. He probably is wondering, like, man, I didn't think I hit the thing that bad, but I want to give props to those flaggers for getting out on the track like that and protecting.
There you see Jeremy Albrecht, who just got another #1 plate with James Stewart. Of course, Albrecht, the former mechanic of Jeff Emick through his glory years. And speaking of, let's go down to Cameron, who was with Jeremy in the pit area.
Jeremy, it's not like James to get past during a moto. What's going on with him?
I don't know. It looks like he's struggling a little bit. I don't know. The track's real dry and kind of choppy. Looks like he's not really getting good traction, but, you know, I don't really know until after the race, see what happens.
I don't know if this is the first time. It's the first time in a while that James hasn't worn a chest protector. Could the roost be a factor?
He didn't wear it in practice, and he was getting roosted. He was kind of ducking his head, but he didn't think it'd be a problem, so he chose to not wear it. So I don't really think that's it.
There you see at the top of the hill, Walker leading, and suddenly Stewart's getting pressure from Fonseca, and there's the Honda pulling up alongside, down off the ski jump. They're going the off-camera. Stewart's on the inside, and he is able to hold off the Honda. Stewart getting pressure now from Fonseca, and David, like you said, he's probably not used to this, and there goes Fonseca on the inside. The crowd cheers as he gets the pass over the double. Stewart getting challenged from all sides.
Well, these people are probably thinking that the 250 class is going to be the big race today with Carmichael going a perfect season, but this is something else. The first moto of the afternoon is a good one.
And now down the inside, Stewart tries to make a pass back, and he's able to. So Stewart going back and forth, first, third, second, and then he clears the gap almost. Fonseca not able to make it. Here's that pass again.
Well, it looks like they touch a little bit right here. James trying to block the inside. He has to lean back out, going, oh, here he comes on the inside. And if Fonseca didn't get in there and take the position that time, then he just didn't want it. He finally got in there and got it back, but as he's finding out, like everybody else has this season, he just passing James isn't the end of the story. He always has something more.
Stewart makes a quick repass on the inside there. I know that there was no berm next to those Chevy banners. Stewart goes back into second place. Let's go back down to the mechanics area with Cameron.
Here is Maddox, Matt Walker's mechanic. Matt didn't get the whole shot, but he's worked his way towards the front. Are you surprised with this performance so far?
Yeah, I'm surprised how quickly he got from mid-pack start right out of the gate to the front. He got there pretty quick.
When I saw him in the pits this afternoon, earlier today actually, he looked focused like he could win, and he gave me the nod. Do you think this could be his day?
I hope so. He knows this is the last race of the year, and he needs to put something together today.
What a great story Matt Walker's been this year. He started out as a replacement rider, then he won the Houston Supercross for Mitch Payton's Simple Green Pro Circuit team, and now he is leading the last National of the year. Without Mike Brown out there, he's become the leader of this team.
He's doing a fine job in this moto. He believes in himself, and what I like that he does is when he gets these bad starts, and he's gotten a bunch of them. He charges hard all the way up and always seems to find his way up to the top 4 or 5. This time he didn't have to work quite as hard. He's able to make a good start out of a bad one.
There you see Stewart caught the inside of the Dunlop banner there. Coming up the top of the hill, the same corner where Sellards fell.
Yeah, so with this better start to the moto for Walker, you're seeing what he's capable of, which is running the pace of the leaders. Now watch James will get in there and clip the banner. Nice save. Fonseca, he'd have been to the inside, he'd have run right into that.
Backing up a little bit, this is the battle for 5th. Suzuki teammates Danny Smith and Branden Jesseman. As we mentioned, Jesseman basically riding with one leg out there. He said the injury hurt him a lot. He didn't want the other guys to know, and right there he makes a pass on the low side, keeping the bike down low, and Smith goes right back by, so Jesseman just not showing that same aggressiveness that we've seen for most of the summer.
Yeah, he really had the line there, he had the timing, but he didn't have the strength.
We'll be right back. Can Walker beat James Stewart? We'll find out. Welcome back to the Sorby Nationals at Steel City. Branden Jesseman trying to pass Danny Smith, his teammate, for 5th. Of course, Jesseman, the benefactor of Chad Reed's fall earlier in the moto. Reed and Jesseman, just 4 points separates them in the battle for 2nd, and this is really going to help Branden.
Well, if I was Suzuki or Smith, well, they're not going to have to, but I would have told Smith, hey, get out of the way. They want 2nd in the series. No one else can beat Stewart, but they can at least be the closest.
And right there, Smith more or less gave up the inside, and Jesseman moves into 5th. And out front, it is Matt Walker leading James Stewart, and Ernesto Fonseca. Our 4th place rider is Brock Sellards on the Red Bull KTM.
Jesseman's still riding really hard with that knee injury, and Stewart had to do the same thing for back to Mount Morris. Look at his line. He hit that kicker, same as Sorby did a little while ago.
And right there, a lapped rider, sorry David, a lapped rider almost messed up Walker and then did in fact mess up Stewart. So all 3 riders having problems with, I think that was Tom Kelly, a lapped rider.
Well, Kelly was trying to get out of the way, but it was hard to guess what all 3 of these guys had in mind. And that off-camber leading into that section, with Stewart going all the way wide, leaving the door open, shows his confidence to be able to create something new and not lose a position.
Let's go down to Cameron Steele in the mechanics area.
Guys, I'm down here with Mitch Payton, the team owner for Matt Walker's bike, the Kawasaki Pro Circuit team. Mitch, Matt Walker's been on the podium before this year. You think this could be his time to win?
I mean, I hope so. It's the last race. It'd mean a lot for him to do it, and he's riding really good right now, and obviously Bubba's right there, so he needs to just keep riding clean lines and try to stay away from him a little bit.
I have to ask you, he and Bubba are both riding green bikes. Is there any team orders when they get together on the track out there?
No, I mean, if it would, we would have won one by now, but no, there's no orders. Everybody's just riding their own deal.
Mitch Payton watching his rider, Matt Walker, out front. There you see Yamaha of Troy's Chad Reed riding back to the pits. A miserable start to his first visit here to Steel City, and he's going to have to make up some points on Branden Jesseman in the 2nd moto. Now Stewart starting to pick up the pressure in the battle for 1st.
He's starting to take different lines. still stay on the rear wheel of Walker, which really bugs you. When you got a guy back there and he's over to the right, he's taking the outside, he's squaring you off, and you're approaching a whoop section that he seems to have dialed, although Walker's gotten to it clean the last couple of laps, that makes you nervous. You know, I don't know how much longer Walker can take this kind of pressure. He's won before, but not with somebody like this breathing down his neck.
The laps are winding down. Can Matt Walker win what would be his first ever AMA National Moto? You can bet James Stewart wants to keep him off the record, but Stewart going for his own little piece of history. This time, 10 straight wins. He goes on the inside, and just like that, lightning strikes James Stewart. David, you had to think he was setting that thing up.
Well, I thought he was setting up to do it through the whoops, but caught me by surprise, and probably caught Walker by more of a surprise, who was already in the inside line, but not far enough to the inside. Beautiful move by James. Comes in way wide here. Already has it set up, and as soon as he sees Walker dive into that berm, just bam, right up to the inside. A little bit of contact, but I don't think Walker could be mad about that. He left him a little room. If you leave Stewart any room, he'll take it all.
Well, that must be obvious to everyone by now, as the white flag is out and James Stewart passes Matt Walker after a very good run in the lead for Walker, but he is running out of time, and I've noticed that Stewart is not wearing his goggles. Wow. At some point, James Stewart threw the Oakley goggles off, and maybe that's why he had to make the pass, that and the fact that he was running out of time.
It's so hard to do this without goggles. You just try that sometime. Go out there and just toss those babies. Your eyes are watering, you get dust in them. You know, and even if you get something in one eye, it seems to affect both of them. And he's got this behind him. These guys are riding as hard as they can go for position and to try to win a moto before it's too late. And James is pulling away.
Just a few more corners to go. Stewart, the leader. Walker in second, trying to hold off the factory Honda of Ernesto Fonseca. And there you see Stewart jumping the big Arenacross tabletop. That is about 90 feet. You see Walker did not jump it, but Fonseca not close enough to make a pass. He's going to do it now. He's going to have to do it in the off-camera here at the very end. Walker holding the inside line, and that is going to make it tough. Fonseca is going to run out of real estate. And there is Stewart at the checkered flag. Walker holds off Fonseca for second here in the first moto. When we return, we will speak with our winner, James Stewart.
Hi, I'm Chad Watts with Team Honda. Me and all the staff here at Honda came up with the Tech Tip of the Year. To keep your Honda winning and at the top performance level, you need to hire Ricky Carmichael. And we here at Honda thank you for, throughout the year, putting up with us and listening to our Tech Tips, and have a good off season.
Well, our first moto here at the Sorby Nationals at Steel City is in the books. James Stewart was our winner. Finishing second was Matt Walker. He is with Cameron Steele.
Matt Walker getting pretty here on the podium. That was a heck of a battle you guys had out there.
Yeah, no, the moto went really quick. I made a couple mistakes, and but I think Bubba made a couple mistakes, and I was able to breathe a little bit. And then, I don't know, I had some good lines, but I just hope everything works out this way next moto, and I may be able to hold it on one more lap and win the thing. But, you know, I can't say enough about Kawasaki and Pro Circuit, and just everybody, my team that's behind me, you know, week in and week out, my mechanic, Dave Matheson, everybody's behind me. And this weekend, they're like I said, you know, they work on my bike and they make sure everything's perfect, and I can't settle for nothing else. This is a transcendental ride for me this weekend, and I just hope that keep it up.
Well, we'll see if you can make it one spot up on the podium in Moto 2.
I don't know, we'll see, but I tell you what, if he gets near me, like he did that last time, I think I might have a line for him out there. It may be outside of the berm, I don't know. That's my goal, so I don't know. He's number one, so he don't have anything to race for. Me, I'm racing for a win, so we'll see.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Take a look at our results. James Stewart, Matt Walker, Ernesto Fonseca, Sellards, and Smith. If you're wondering about Branden Jesseman, he got a flat tire late in the moto, finished 12th. That's good for 9 points, which means he will have 5 points on Chad Reed in the second moto. Let's go back to Cameron with our winner.
Well, our champion, James Stewart, you had a bit of a hard-fought battle out there, starting with Brock Sellards giving you a bump, then have to fight your way past Matt Walker.
Yeah, I mean, this track, everybody goes the same speed. It's so hard to...
Has lost to the Crimson Tide. And it's remarkable in this series that anybody can make that kind of statement. Cox, excellent protection. And it's intercepted. Picked up by McLean.
In all the roots, and like, I hit my head pretty hard on the crossbar pass, and it knocked all the like sweat.
Record, most wins in a 125 season. We'll see if he can do it.
Well, as James Stewart was marching toward the 125 title, Steffi Bow was going after the Women's Motocross League Championship. It wrapped up on Steel City with the Moto yesterday and won today. And there you see the final point standings. Ironically enough, 259 for Steffi Bow. She beats Jessica Patterson and last year's champion, Tanya Satchwell. Here's our new #1, Steffi Bow.
It's been awesome here, you know, working really hard and like get up here and ride with the same track like the guys do. It's so good. This WML is stepping up a lot. You know, women are doing professional racing, so it's so cool. I'm so happy.
So Steffi Bow claims her championship here at Steel City. 18,000 fans on hand for the last round of the AMA Chevy Trucks National. Here's a look behind the scenes with this week's Racer X Pit Pass.
What did you do? Crashed? Yeah, crashed on my dirt bike. Oh, neat. Well, stay off the dirt bike for a little while. You'll be good.
Even though it was only 1 year ago, the 2001 Steel City National is already considered an all-time classic. The race marked the return of Ricky Carmichael to the class in order to make one final run at Mark Barnett's all-time 125 national wins record of 25. But that was only part of the story. The real drama was in the battle for the national championship between the veteran Mike Brown and Red Bull KTM's Grant Langston. In the first moto, Carmichael fell early, leaving Brown and Langston to battle for the title by themselves out front. Knowing that he only needed to finish behind Brown in both motos, Langston settled for second, a strategic move that actually upset Brown as they crossed the finish line. The second time out, Carmichael got away cleanly and checked out on the rest of the field. Langston again rode cautiously in order to take the title, but then lightning struck at the very end of the race when the back wheel on his KTM fell apart, costing the team what would have been its first ever AMA National Championship. Carmichael ended up with the overall win and his all-time record, but Mike Brown was the real winner that day at Steel City as he finally claimed the first major title of his long motocross career.
Welcome back. We're getting ready for Moto 2 in the 125 class here at Steel City. And as you saw, a tough race last year, heartbreaking for Grant Langston. Moto #1 here this year wasn't much better for him, finishing out of the top 10. He's really going to have to bring his A game if he wants to get a top 3 finish or even a win here in his last moto, the 125cc class. He's going to have to battle with guys like Stewart, Walker, and Fonseca, who were first, second, and third in Moto #1. Those guys, I talked to their mechanics in between motos. They didn't change a lot with the motorcycles. Actually, only the winner, James Bubba Stewart. He wasn't happy with being in second place for a lot of that moto. He has a heavily grooved rear tire. He actually has sideways, like, it's kind of like a diagonal groove in the rear sidewall. He wants to have more bite, a wider pattern on the back tire so he gets more grip. That and lower the front tire pressure. We'll see if it works for him as James Stewart tries to become the guy with the most overall wins in 125 national history.
Taking a look at our Suzuki starting lineup, all the principals in there. Chad Reed back in the moto after that first moto breakdown, as you saw Grant Langston out there. Also, some young riders like Gene Stahl, Josh Hansen, Troy Adams out there. And we should mention Paul Faraka. Crashed earlier today. The word from the hospital, a broken femur for the Team Husqvarna rider. So get well soon, Paul. Now the car is getting ready to go sideways on the final moto of the 2002 AMA Chevy Trucks US 125 Motocross Nationals. The car will go sideways, the gate will drop, and they will come right up toward you. make a left, and the last race of the season will be underway. You hear the bikes revving, and here they come. And once again, it looks like Brock Sellards. No, actually, it's Reed sweeping in on the Yamaha. Chad Reed with the hole shot. Last the person, and here comes Sellards on the inside. Sellards gets right back out front. That's where he started the first moto. He ended up 4th. Brock Sellards battling food poisoning, but a great start. And I see a couple more KTMs there. Wow, those bikes get out the gate fast.
Well, KTM, you know, the joke around the industry is that bike used to stand for can't take motocross. But they have done a lot to erase that image. These guys are full bore, making an attack at the top four. If we actually joined the big four manufacturers, the Japanese, it's become the big five. And with McGrath coming to the team, Langston moving up to 250 next year, these guys are really serious about trying to win some championships.
So it's Sellards, Reed, Laninovich, Langston, and then Branden Jesseman, who needs to get up close to Chad Reed. At least needs to finish 2 spots behind him if he is going to claim second behind James Stewart in the final championship standings. Once again, they come up over the top of the hill, and Reed having a little bit of problems. And a little ways back, there's another KTM down on the... Oh, and that's Grant Langston. Langston has fallen down at the bottom of the hill. You see him limping a little bit. Langston, another bad moto. Here's what happened.
Right there by the Chevy banner, Langston kind of walking it through that berm, trying to get straight, just gets plowed by, it looks like it might be Branden Jesseman right there. Another rider plowing in.
That was Michael Byrne. You see Fonseca riding over his bike, and then Matt Walker stuck on the inside.
This happened a couple corners before that mess. See Kelly Smith high side and over the back of Fonseca. Gosselaar nowhere to go, just tries to make it over the top. No chance there. Elliott going by, Huffman, and Kelly Smith going, just let me get to my bike if there's anything left of it.
Now Reed and Stewart are battling for second place. Sellards is your leader. Stewart has caught up through. He's passed those KTMs, and now he's working on Chad Reed. This was supposed to be the battle for the championship, but David, it just didn't turn out that way. And there goes Stewart on the inside, and he doubles over the little tabletop, clears the next one, so Stewart goes by Reed without a fight.
Well, I think Reed's day, just the way it started off, and even to get the whole shot in this moto, then to get passed by Sellards just right away, he's probably just not really into it all the way mentally like he should be. The season's just about over, and you know, he's probably rather be on a flight on the way home right now. Look at Stewart just going for that double. Gets all the way up and over it. You'd think that Reed would have the power and the Supercross ability to do that, but he got pushed into a berm by the pressure from Stewart that didn't enable him to jump that.
Stewart with the championship wrapped up. Now he's going after history. If he can win this moto, it would mark his 10th overall win. Just an unbelievable record. He's already the youngest 125 national champion. He's the first African-American national champion right there. He goes over top of Brock Sellards. Wow, I think that was definitely an in-your-face look back.
Yeah, the second one. The first one, just making sure he had enough clearance. The second one, he's looking at Sellards. Hey, go back to the Phoenix Supercross, way back in the first part of the year. These guys got together a couple times, and maybe that's just not settled yet.
I'll tell you what, Stewart must have a long memory, because there's a lot of victories for him between those two races. Sellards, of course, was only able to win the Anaheim Supercross before that Epstein's Barr virus set in. Really robbed him of most of his summer. Now he's just trying to beat Stewart once.
Well, he's got one final try, but this was the problem he had. He got a little wide the first lap. He does it again this lap. Gets out next to that bank, and his high side. He does a good job to save it, but he doesn't have the run at the plateau like Stewart did. Stewart close to him when he came down on the landing and starting to get away. Now Sellards has to be more concerned with protecting his position, you know, with Chad Reed rather than charging after Stewart. I don't know that he has the health to go after Stewart anyway.
You caught a glimpse of Branden Jesseman. That's the rider that Reed is really battling with as he comes up along the inside of Sellards. Sweep around. Sellards gives up second place. Jesseman right behind him again. 5 points separates Chad Reed from Branden Jesseman. Jesseman with the advantage after Reed DNF'd that first moto, and then Jesseman suffered the flat tire. But right now, James Stewart is out front and in control here at Steel City. Welcome back to the Sorby Nationals at Steel City, where Grant Langston's day has gone from bad to worse. while we were away, he crashed again, and now the Zulu is in the mechanics area. That is his uncle, Andrew Langston, talking to him. This track just hasn't been very good for the Zulu. Now back to the action at hand. Billy Laninovich, his first visit to Steel City. He is holding off Danny Smith, Ernesto Fonseca, and Matt Walker in a battle for 5th as they go the opposite side of the track. And whoa, Smith, the big leap off that first jump. No need to set up for the double. He just charged that, and he makes the pass.
That was a nice move on Laninovich. You know, watching Billy a little bit, I know Ryan Hughes has been working with him some, and he's going to be a great rider. He already is, but what he's trying to learn right now, and as you can see this happening, is learn how to ride to his potential in races. You know, I mean, his racing savvy just isn't up to par yet. This is only like his 4th national, so he's still learning.
That was a perfect example, David. 3 veterans went by him, just bang, bang, bang. That's something you got to learn in the Outdoor Nationals. David Pingree told us earlier in the year they fight for every single position. Now check it out. Langston has got back into the race. He's actually a couple laps down, well, 1 lap down. He is following James Stewart, probably trying to learn what he can. Langston, of course, will be joined by Jeremy McGrath in Supercross next year. And in fact, Cameron talked to him earlier about his plans.
Me and him will be teammates, you know, running out of separate semis. So it's going to be great. You know, I've been riding with him once or twice already, and great guy, and you know, you can learn a lot from him. So I'm excited for next year. It's going to be a great season.
In the meantime, Langston trying to learn what he can from the youngest rider and on this racetrack, James Stewart. You can see they switched lines there. That's where Langston fell earlier, going to the outside. Then it's up over the big tabletops at the top. Now Jesseman trying to hold off Ernesto Fonseca for 3rd. Again, Jesseman got a very bad twist to his knee yesterday. He's going to let Fonseca come to the inside. Fonseca uses the same move that Smith used on Laninovich to make the pass on Jesseman. As it stands, Reed is 2nd, Fonseca's 3rd, Jesseman is 4th. Right now, if the checkered flag would fall, Jesseman would still hold on to 2nd in the point standings by 1 point. But the next rider coming up behind him is Matt Walker. So Jesseman cannot afford to let one more rider by, or he's going to lose 2nd in the championship standings.
Yeah, he's very aware of it too, and I get the idea that Jesseman cares a lot more about 2nd in the series than Chad Reed does, and he's given it all he's got. Walker, he doesn't care. He doesn't even know, I guarantee you, that what's going on with the points. There's another example of Laninovich just getting pushed around out there. Now, if he went out and just turned lap times, he probably could be, I don't know if he can be as fast as Stewart, but 2nd fastest for sure, but he's just not able to do it in race situations.
Right there, you caught a glimpse of Brock Sellards. That food poisoning caught up with him. He is out of the 2nd moto. Speedworld's presentation of AMA Motocross is brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. And by Honda, performance leader in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Honda, performance first. When the 2002 AMA Chevy Trucks Nationals kicked off at Glen Helen Raceway, no one could have expected that James Stewart, in his first ever national season, would go on to win 9 overalls. Here you see Hangtown through the mud, then he went to Budds Creek Father's Day after he lost the 2 races at Mount Morris and Southwick, and then he was rolling. Redbud fell in the first turn, came charging through the pack to finish 2nd in the first moto. Then the 2nd moto, he dominated. That would give him his 4th overall win. Number 5 would come at Kenworthy's after a fierce battle with Danny Smith and Chad Reed. Reed and Stewart would pick it up again in Unadilla, with Stewart slowing down to let Reed by and then going out and proving who was boss. Next, it was on to Washougal. Another first visit for James Stewart. Another bad first moto. In the 2nd moto, he took the measure of Branden Jesseman and got another win. Round 10, Millville in Spring Creek Raceway in Minnesota. After losing the first moto to Chad Reed, Stewart came out slugging the 2nd moto. took another one. Then it was on to Binghamton, New York for Broome Tiger Sports Center. He would claim the national championship there. That would give him 9 wins. And today at Steel City, he goes after win number 10. The first moto, a nice aggressive pass on Matt Walker. He takes the moto win, and now he is on the last lap of the second moto. James Stewart turned 16 back on December 21st of 2001, and already he is about to break a record held by Steve Langston and Ricky Carmichael for the most wins in a season, and this would also give him 8 straight 125 national wins, another record, again breaking Steve Langston's old standard. James Stewart, just a welcome addition to AMA Motocross.
And he's lapping number 204 right there, Josh Hansen, another brand new addition to the sport, professional ranks. And for Stewart, you know, he's chasing after Carmichael. He's already breaking some of Carmichael's early records. So we see Carmichael going after perfect seasons. Not unlikely to think that this kid's going to follow him and do the same exact thing.
David, if he hadn't crashed at High Point and broken down at Southwick, he just might be going for a perfect season. But as it stands, Stewart, already the national champion, now he will claim his 10th overall win of the season. And there it is, the checkered flag comes out. James Stewart rides into the record books yet again. Take a look at our final results of the second moto. Stewart, Reed, Fonseca, Jesseman holds on to 4th. Walker can't pass him, and that means that Branden Jesseman will be our runner-up at the end of the 125 national season by just 1 point over Chad Reed. Let's go down to Cameron in the winner's circle.
Well, guys, not only does he have the most overalls for a rookie, he now has the most overall wins in the 125cc class, period, taking down Steve Langston. James Stewart, a great day today, going 1-1.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's been a heck of a season. I think I could have got them all except for Mount Morris. I was a little hurt, but, you know, my Kawasaki's been working awesome this whole year. And thanks to the team and everybody. I mean, my mom and dad, my girlfriend, everybody. They've been putting a heck of a job together, and I'm glad I got it. I couldn't believe it's this good.
Well, as a youngster, taking all these wins, you've showed everybody your dominance. Let's talk about the future for James Stewart. The season's over next year. Can we look for a perfect season from you?
I mean, I'm going to go home and, you know, train. I got a new trainer, and we're going to be ready next year. And hopefully, you know, first I want to get that Supercross championship. First I want to win at Anaheim. And then if I win at Anaheim, I should get them all then.
Definitely happy to be winning. James Stewart, your champion here today. One more time here at Steel City.
Taking a look at the final results, Stewart the 1-1, but Ernesto Fonseca's 3-3 is good for 2nd overall. Not a bad way to end the season. He's with Cameron in the winner's circle.
Ernesto Fonseca equaling your best finish on the year, 2nd at Southwick, 2nd here today at Steel City. It's got to be a good feeling to end the season on an up note.
Yeah, I mean, I feel great, and like you said, I think that's pretty much what everybody wants, just finish the season on a good note, and just from now on, just going to work in my 250 and get some Supercross practice and, you know, go strong next year.
Well, Fonseca will end up 2nd overall on the day, but he will end up 4th in the final point stands. Of course, Stewart, Jesseman, and Reed 1, 2, and 3. Danny Smith ends up 5th, followed by Matt Walker and Buddy Antunez, and all the way down in 16th, you see Grant Langston, an injury-riddled season. But for the Stewart family, it was almost perfect. And here is a look at the first year of James Bubba Stewart's professional career.
He's grown up his entire life with a motorcycle between his legs.
He's got confidence, and a rider with confidence is going to win all the time.
It's obviously James has the talent to maybe be better and greater than even Ricky has ever been.
He's a level ahead of everybody right now.
The man say, will he be the greatest?
That's what is so impressive about Stewart. He's so young, but he's so clever. He seems to know his competitors as well as they know themselves, if not better, and he can figure out all the moves, so he's never caught off guard.
The biggest thing that happened that actually started off my season right was winning the first race with 25 seconds. I knew I would win, but I never thought I'd win that big.
There's the checkered flag. James Stewart, the first national win of his career.
He's definitely the fastest guy out there. It's just a matter of, you know, staying consistent, and every week I could see that he's, you know, improving in the consistency and the talent and getting used to racing with those other guys that are extremely fast as well.
This is the race we've been waiting for. Stewart, Reed, Eric Sorby, and it looks like Ernesto Fonseca in fourth.
My favorite race this year probably would have been Unadilla.
Stewart takes a look over his shoulder. He is not going 100%. Now he's almost stopped David. He's just giving him the lead.
Chad Reed must be like, what the?
When James waved him by, that's when it hit me, okay, he's up to something. Because all the races we ever raced, James has never waved anybody by unless his bike was broke. And when he waved them by, I said, okay, he wants to race.
When I let him pass me, it was probably like 6 laps to go. And on Unadilla, which is like, I think, the roughest track of the year, and it was one of those races that you had to concentrate every lap or it puts you on your head. It was mostly for myself, for confidence, but I mean, also it was kind of a little bit of, not bragging rights, but it was more of a confidence boost, and it showed everybody that I was the real deal, you know. I can go the distance.
All right, his first visit to the legend. Unadilla Valley Sports Center is Stewart takes the championship.
It's no surprise to see James have the successes that he's had. The few problems that he's had has been mechanical in nature. I think he's a very mature individual, and if someone's going to break Ricky Carmichael's records, I think we found the guy.
He's ahead of where Ricky was at this point, so 2 or 3 years from now, there could really be something there.
You use a guy like Ricky as a benchmark and you say, you know, if you could do like Ricky or whatever, and honestly, they're trying to better that. Can he beat all those records? It's possible too. You know, you never know.
My confidence now, I think if everything goes right, I can win, you know, probably every race overall next year. I feel confident doing that.
Well, David Bailey, can he win every race next year?
Yes, he sure can. He's probably pretty mad that he didn't win them all this year. I remember talking to him way back at the early part of the season. He thought it would be pretty cool to do that. He didn't know if he could do it his first year. That's what he was shooting for, and he almost got it. I think he'd like to win the Supercross and the outdoor title and win every single race.
Well, for David Bailey and Cameron Steele, this is Davey Coombs saying so long, everyone. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to